Thank you, Brian and Aaron, and one more time, hello, everyone. Thanks to organizations like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, Brooklyn has become ground zero for the crowdfunding movement. Increasingly, TV projects are grabbing more of that ground. First, there were efforts, successful and unsuccessful, to fund pilots for television series. Then came advancements with interactive technology. And then whole TV series, such as the multi-million-dollar campaign reviving Mystery Science Theater 3000. 13 new episodes of MST3K will go into production soon, and they will show up on Netflix next year, thanks to the folks at Comic-Con who made that announcement over the weekend. Now, Brooklyn-based crowdfunding venture Seed&Spark, which focuses largely on motion picture ventures up until now, has launched what may be the next level of this movement, fostering multiple television series simultaneously. Let's introduce you to the new Voice Crowdfunding Rally and how it works.
In the history of television, we've seen some of the greatest heroes and some of the most disturbing anti-heroes.
We remember the iconic moments of our favorite TV shows.
The black screen in the finale of The Sopranos.
Ned Stark's death in Game of Thrones.
And my favorite ad man making an impassioned sales pitch.
Great storytelling leaves us constantly wanting more. But it all still has me thinking, could we see something different on screen?
People of color as CEOs.
I don't know, like hire a badass woman?
Or a black woman in tech.
That's why Seed&Spark has partnered with SeriesFest to launch the new Voice Crowdfunding Rally.
This year-long competition gives you the chance to film your pilot.
And build an eager audience that follows your progress.
And support bringing your show to air.
This means you have the chance to determine the next hit series.
That's right, like you get to be the next big thing.
Isn't that magical? SeriesFest is the festival destination for innovative television pilots.
A one-of-a-kind opportunity for independent creators to screen their work alongside network premieres and sneak previews like USA's Mr. Robot.
We are looking for the next great series, and we're turning to you to find it.
Do it, bitch!
Here's how it works. You submit your projects on seedandspark.com. The 10 projects that build the largest audience will premiere at SeriesFest 2017. The winner will receive $30,000 and a television development deal.
Full Screen Media is going to award an additional prize, a chance to go straight to series on their subscription video-on-demand network.
It's time to share your story with the world.
We can't wait to see what you dream up.
Submit your project now to seedandspark.com.
On seedandspark.com.
Seedandspark.com.
Submit your project now on seedandspark.com.
Think you get the idea. Joining us now with more on this effort and its consequences is Seed&Spark Business Development Director Greg Cohan. Greg, welcome to BK Live.
Thanks for having me, Simon.
You're very welcome. The rally's been underway for a couple weeks. How's it going?
It's going really well. It's coming off the success of our first crowdfunding rally in the Untold Story, which was focused on documentary films. We had 30-plus films in that rally, all kind of banding together to raise money, and we just announced the finalists last week. So we are riding the wave of that success, and we've got a bunch of submissions, but submissions are open now. So if you have original content out there, please submit it to seedandspark.com.
How many people do you expect, or how many organizations do you expect are going to be involved with this when all is said and done? I mean, I was talking with one of your colleagues, Julie Keck, on our show a couple of weeks ago, and she suggested that maybe 50, 100 different TV projects might be involved with this.
I think so. I think that's a good number. I mean, we were about that with the documentary series, and we're inching towards that right now in the first weeks of submissions, and while we're doing things like this and we're going around film festivals for the rest of the summer and into the fall, it's going really well. Yeah, we expect about 50 to 100 projects to be submitted. So
now, how are we going to determine who ultimately gets that break at Series Fest next year, or who gets that break with Full Screen's video on demand, subscription video on demand service that's available on smart TV sets and devices?
Well, the biggest thing here is audience building. That's what Seed&Spark is focused around. So one of the biggest qualifiers to qualify to be at Series Fest is to build that audience of a minimum of 1,000 people and to raise a minimum of $10,000 to make your teaser or your first episode or your pilot for the series that you're working on. The Full Screen Award is in addition, and there's a specific criteria for that. You have to have a protagonist between the age of 18 to 25 for that one, and that's an additional prize.
Why is that requirement?
Because Full Screen is you're familiar with Full Screen? Yeah, they're a streaming platform that is geared directly towards the social first generation. So people who are watching, young generation who's watching media and consuming media on their phones, on their tablets, on the go.
And we also point out that AT&T, which runs DirecTV and runs the audience network on AT&T diverse cable systems, now has a Full Screen segment.
That's correct.
And so some of these projects could end up on that Full Screen segment too, where they'd be able to many, many more people.
And the award with Full Screen is the opportunity to go straight to series with Full Screen and be a Full Screen series.
Now, there's also a production company that is involved. What's this company, and how would they get a series on the air?
So yeah, we're working with a few partners. We're working with Series Fest to be there in 2017, to be a finalist there. We're working with MasterCard, who's been great at helping us find new content and making it easier for people to contribute to these campaigns. We're working with Band of Outsiders, who's the production company. They're a development agency that basically provides tools and resources to get your project to the next level and to get it polished enough to be in front of some of those, maybe those bigger networks that might want to pick up the series. And Full Screen is the other partner we're working with on this as well.
We are in a borough that has become a major production center, with shows like Power, the Netflix Marvel shows, The Americans, which just got nominated for the Emmy Awards, and so on. What effort is being made to have outreach to Brooklyn producers, especially women and women of color? We just had the Brooklyn Comedy Festival on the last segment. That would obviously be a way. What about the New York Television Festival coming up in October? Independent Film Project is going to have a television segment for the very first time. They're going to be moving their effort from Manhattan to Brooklyn this September. What efforts are being made in terms of outreach?
Outreach. I run the outreach portion at Seed&Spark as well as business development. So one of our main focuses is education. We spend a lot of time at festivals. We're at a festival almost every weekend, and at film schools, kind of teaching best practices in crowdfunding in order to build a career in television and film. We're going to be at New York Women in Film and Television next week. I was there last week on one of their film financing panels, and one of our crowdfunding specialists, Christina Raya, is going to be there teaching a class with New York Women in Film and Television later this week.
And we should point out, Greg, that Women in Film just announced last week an episodic television lab that they are doing, where they have 8 different projects for series, and the women involved with them will get mentors, like the producers of Being Mary Jane, the producers of Mr. Robot USA, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And is there any talk about perhaps getting involved with Women in Film to have those organizations, that the people involved with that episodic lab, involved with Seed&Spark?
Well, that's what's kind of cool about this rally, is that the opportunity to be at Series Fest is huge, because there are some of those other big networks that are going to be there premiering things like the next season of Mr. Robot, or a sneak peek of Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll. Those are all things that have been premiered at Series Fest, and to be at that festival in front of those networks and in front of those distributors is a great opportunity for the filmmakers.
Why did it take this project to get your organization involved in crowdfunding for television, when you've had Indiegogo and Kickstarter and this movement available for several years now? I'm just curious, what made this become the catalyst for your organization to get into the area of crowdfunding for television?
There was a demand for it, and there is a demand for it. There's so many opportunities out there to create your own series with access to the internet, and the internet is just serving underserved audiences. And while we're a platform primarily for films and for film-related projects, as we have been going to festivals and events, we've just noticed that people wanted to stream their series on our platform, and we visited Series Fest last year, and we went there for their most recent fest, and it's just, there's a demand for it, so we're filling that demand. Yeah.
It seemed in the clip we saw that one of the things about this project is, let's get more television projects from people of color and women of color.
Sure.
Are you doing any special outreach with organizations that are specifically reaching out to that constituency?
Well, New York Women in Film and Television is one of them. Being here at BRIC is a big opportunity for us, because there are very diverse artists here at BRIC. And yeah, we're at some other festivals throughout the year that are going to be a great catalyst for us to reach those audiences.
I mentioned before you came on that over the weekend at Comic-Con, Netflix got the rights to Mystery Science Theater 3000, which so far is the first crowdfunded television series to happen. They raised $6 million with a Kickstarter, and now they've got a platform. I believe that they're going to start production in a couple of weeks, and they'll go on the air in 2017.
Right.
Do you think that is going to be a breakthrough for more individual projects in crowdfunding. Where do you see the crowdfunding movement in television going from here?
Well, that's why we created Seed&Spark. We're trying to create that path from your core audience to building that core audience to finding that core audience so that you get noticed and have control over how your project is made, distributed, marketed, all the way to the end of distribution so your audience sees it. And we're providing that path, so yeah.
One of the things, Greg, that your agency has been very successful with is to get independent filmmakers to get their projects funded. Mm-hmm. How much outreach are you giving to them? Because we are seeing more and more in television, we're seeing independent filmmakers get into the medium not just as show creators, but as show runners. And they're getting tremendous carte blanche. And the greatest example of that is Mr. Robot. Sam Esmail, who had never done television, but did do independent film, did Mr. Robot, got tremendous support from Universal Cable Productions and USA Network, and now it's a possible Emmy contender for Best Drama, won the Peabody Award, South by Southwest Audience Award. It has been like a golden year for their first year on the air.
So what was your question?
Are you finding that a lot of the independent filmmakers are using Seed&Spark? Are they getting involved with this crowdfunding rally? Yeah,
absolutely. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's all about owning your career and kind of treating your filmmaking career as a business and taking ownership of that and putting it in your own hands.
Got a few seconds left. How much more time do people have to get involved in the rally?
You can submit all the way through September 1st. That is the deadline for submission, but submit now, yeah.
Great. Greg, thank you very much for coming on BK Live. Good luck with the project. We will be following this as it continues, and we will invite the winners of the project, especially if they do become a series, to come on both BK Live and also to come on Tomorrow Be Televised if and when they become a series, particularly in Brooklyn. By the way, do you see, before we go, some other offshoots of this for television? Let's say doing something for unscripted TV, doing something for children's TV?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're open to everything in this rally, whether it be unscripted TV, whether it be animation, whether it be children's TV. I'd love to see something happen in children's television. That would be awesome.
I think it's going to be a major, major big step forward for the crowdfunding movement. And we thank you again for coming on, Greg.
Thanks, Simon. I appreciate it. Yeah.
You got it. And remember, you can follow the progress of New Voice Crowdfunding Rally at seedandspark.com. This is our final Tomorrow Be Televised segment for a while. We are joining the rest of BK Live and taking an August break, and we will return the day after Labor Day. You're invited to view or binge view our work over the last 7 months at YouTube. That's youtube.com/BRIC TV. Meantime, our internet radio program will continue with new live episodes starting later this afternoon at 3 with Calissa Miller, the executive producer of Sing It Out. That's Pop's a cappella group competition going to season 2 on Wednesday night. And join me next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 when Tomorrow Be Televised begins its 10th year on the air at blogtalkradio.com. Want to take a moment and thank the wonderful people here at BRIC TV, our segment producer, Justin Bryant, our executive producer, Jonathan Leap, the wonderful studio crew, all the hosts, Brian, Aaron, Greg, Melody, Rakia, for all the effort and support. It is incredibly appreciated.